Hi, I'm Natasha Webb, and this is Elevate Your Amazing Life. We have a new show, and we're here to uplift and to inspire. And I have an amazing guest today. Her name is Eleanor Brown. She is a teacher from Birmingham and an actress. And we want to start by welcoming you, Eleanor. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really, really excited to have you. And one of the reasons why I asked you to be my first guest was because to me, I've known you since I was 12, and you have always been just such a positive person. Even back when we were little kids, you were everybody's friend. You always had a smile, and you've just been you're one of the wisest, most inspirational people I know. Don't you truly are, and so that's why I wanted you to be. It was very important that you were my first guest.
Well, I am so happy to be here. Thank you for the invite. And hey, let's go for it.
That's right. Well, I just wanted to ask you because I've seen you that way, and so many people that know you do see you that way. How is it that you're able to stay so positive? And I know we all have down times, but you tend to just succeed through adversities and maintain an uplifting kind of positive attitude all the time. So how is it that you are able to do that when some people seem to not be able to do that?
Well, let me say this, that I have my downtimes. I have times where I'm just, it's just how am I going to get to the next day? We all have stuff that we go through. And so my strength is my faith. And when I go through things and I don't have answers and I don't know what's going to come next or what I'm going to do next or any problem that I have, I know that I can go to my faith and I can pray and I can take that burden off. It doesn't mean that I have that, it's answered. I see the answer right away, but I know that the pressure is off of me, and then you just have to wait, and that's the hard part. So it's a mind, and it's a mind thing too. The thought. What are you thinking? How are you thinking? What are you doing throughout the day? And thoughts, can lead you to have a positive outlook, or thoughts could lead you to a negative outlook. So, but that would be, the biggest thing.
Yeah. Well, I know that you're a teacher, and then at some point in your life you decided to make your acting dreams come true. And I know that we took acting together in high school even.
Yes, we did.
So what was it that made you decide to go after that dream, and what steps did you take to kind of head in that direction?
Well, it's funny that you asked that because when we were in high school, that's the 11th grade year, that's when I made the decision. I loved it. Mr. Mack.
Yes,
Mr. Mack.
Amazing teacher. And I'm going to have him as a guest. I'm going to try.
Yes, you got to do that. Yeah. He would absolutely do that. He's such a dear. But I decided in my 11th grade year, and I thought about it, maybe not 11th, I'd probably tell it to 12th grade. But anyway, that's when I really started to pursue it. And when I graduated, I went to college and, had to do the college thing. I wanted to major in it, auditioned in New York for Tisch, School of the Arts, and I auditioned for the Actors Studio, got in.
I didn't even know that. You went to the Actors. That was my dream. Didn't go there, but I didn't know that.
This story does not end there.
Oh wow!
My dad didn't think I was that serious, but I reached out, and tried to get into a school. And I came back, went to Atlanta. I had to go and do the audition, do the interview, and not too long later, I found out that I got in. And so I went back to my dad during that time. I said, "Hey, Dad, I got in," and I will never forget his look. He said, "You did." He didn't believe that was that serious. So finally, he just said, "Well, I'm not paying money for you to make none." I'm like, "Dad, gum, You know, wow, really, Dad?
That's
She
every actor's
stopped me.
dream.
Right. It was I knew that was what I wanted to do. So I just went through and, I had to work. I became a teacher and I had to work during the year. So during the year, I do shows and plays and I would go to rehearsals at night. The performances were at night and I did that pretty consistently. And then I started venturing out to Atlanta and I did stand-in. My first role was stand-in for A Time to Kill and Huckleberry Finn with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I worked on that, and then I just started, taking classes wherever I could, and I still do.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so
Yeah, you introduced
just
me
that
to
did my way, huh?
yeah. I just You introduced me to an acting teacher that I used to, Danny Vincent. So yeah, so I mean, yeah,
Danny's
and
awesome.
I feel like I have lived vicariously through you. Just I'm so happy for everything that you got, and I'm just thrilled every time that I found out you got a role. And I wanted to ask you about a very big role that you had in 2011. You were in the movie Courageous, and you played Kayla Hayes. Yeah. So some movies are just movies, and Courageous was a movement, and the movement was called The Revolution. So I was wondering if you could kind of tell us about that and what exactly that did for you. I mean, it was huge. It was worldwide.
Courageous was about four police officers and their family, and without telling the whole plot, I played Kayla Hayes, which is Kenneth Bevel is my husband in that film. And it goes through, there are a lot, each of them have a different families. One has, they have wife, one is divorced, one is um, a rookie cop who had a girlfriend and they had a baby together. And so it goes through a wide variety of background that fathers have. And, this generation is known as the fatherless generation.
Yeah.
We have more kids now that are growing up without fathers at home. And so the Kendrick brothers thought, well, this is a topic that we'd love to address. And so the resolution is where all the fathers came together and they decided they were going to live and be the father that God has called them to be. Mm-hmm. And so the list it's a promise that is made. In the film, and we did go worldwide. People were doing the resolution everywhere, yeah. And I was able to go to places and participate in those. It's like a ceremony. It really is, and it's so beautiful. It was so beautiful. You have all the fathers pledging to their families, to God, who's their head. This resolution, and the whole resolution is biblical. They pulled every scripture out of it. It's not something they made up themselves. So I was so honored to be in that film. It was just
well, what was it like working with Alex and Stephen Kendrick? Because they have films under their belt like Flywheel, Facing the Giants, Fireproof, starring Kirk Cameron, Mom's Night Out with Sean Astin and Patricia Heaton, The War Room, Overcomer. So, I mean, they have done some amazing work. So what was it like working with them? And also, was the atmosphere on the film different from other things that you've done because you had so many people of faith there?
It's wonderful. I can't say enough about the Kendrick brothers. They are passionate about what they do. They believe in what they do. Their heart is really to put movies together that touch people and families and topics that are together. War Room was about prayer. Overcomer was about overcoming obstacles. Mm-hmm. And every one of those things, the film had a theme. And so being on set, every time before we did any scene, there was a prayer team that prayed over us. And that's something obviously you don't have.
Most of the time.
Yeah. So they were very invested in the actors. They were very particular on who they chose. You had to go through an interview process. I had to travel down there, and they interviewed me. They asked me about my life and, my reading the Word and my church attendance. I mean, they got all into that because they really wanted to have people that didn't just come and do a movie. They wanted them to really be invested in the movie as well. And we all. It's just, I mean, it was a wonderful cast.
Yeah, I imagine that was a very moving experience. Just and to be chosen for that was, I mean, I can't imagine anybody that deserved that role more than you. I really can't. But you've done so many other things too. You had a movie called The Summer of '67 in 2018. What was that like, and what was that about?
Oh, this was different because it was just about all women. It was about four women. I don't know, that's wonderful, isn't it? Four courageous, four, and I never made that connection. But it was about four women, and it was during it was during wartime. And all the men were sent away, of course, to war, and they were left here. It was during World War II. That's when the setting is. And the women had to basically kind of run things. And so it talks about each one of the women's backgrounds and the relationships, the struggles that they go through and how they made it through by faith. And it is a faith-based film. And how they made the best of it and the struggles that they went through during that time. And the battles and the deaths and how they came out. And it's a great balance. All these films have really good balances because it just doesn't say, oh, everything happens great. No, in real life, things don't always work out the way you want them to. And I really appreciate that. That they try to make it as real to life, but give a good encouraging message at the end. You don't walk out like, oh, dang, I wish I could see that film. Feel depressed. So yes, it was wonderful being on that set. The people on that set, they were Christians as well. So and that's one of my focuses. It's not, people ask me, would you ever do a secular? Of course, I've done secular things, but that's where my heart is.
Well, yeah, of course, and there are more and more Christian films being made nowadays. It's amazing. It really is. Well, you also did a movie called Timbertown in 2019, and you won the Best Actress award for that from the Ohio's Dream Come True Festival.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to be modest, but I know as an actress, no, seriously, I mean, to be honored like that had to feel amazing. So just tell us a little bit about the film and what that was like to win that award.
It was wonderful because I was up against four other actresses, and three other actresses. I'm sorry. And one of them I had worked with in summer of '67. And one of them I had worked with had Best Supporting Actress. I worked with her in summer of '67. So I was like, Lord, this is just awesome that I just got nominated. It's just, I mean, it's just, it's validating.
Yeah.
But when they told me I won, it was like, oh gosh, it was just wonderful. It felt so good. It was the people that were represented there. They were from all around the north part of the country. So that film festival wasn't for the entire country. They have that during this summer, which we're about to miss it. It was supposed to happen in the second week in May, 16th, and that's been postponed for now. So, they place these films in the different festivals, and that was the one that we were able to put in for the movement. So until all this crazy happened.
Well,
so yes, it was wonderful. I loved it.
I know you've already had an amazing career already, and I know you're going to do some amazing things in the future. Do you have any upcoming projects that you want to tell us before we wrap it up?
Well, I do have some things on the table. I can't share it, but
Yeah.
it's one that I really would like, and I think if I said it, everybody would know what it was. But right now, because of the pandemic, everything is shut down. The
Yeah.
movie industry in California, they won't start back up until they're talking about even closer to August, July,
Mm,
end of July, August, somewhere around in there. So everything's kind of on a pause. You know, we have to travel to one state to another, and every state is different in their the conditions that they're undergoing. Um, and at different phases. So right now, nothing's really going on, but the
yeah.
auditions are still proceeding, and they're trying to plan for when we can move
Yeah,
forward.
yeah, I know you told me that. You're still doing auditions, which is great because as soon as this thing does die down, maybe, you get back to work, something really quickly will happen, I hope.
I hope
Um,
so.
well, anyway, how can everybody find you on Facebook, Instagram, any social media?
We have a Facebook page. It's under Eleanor Brown, Eleanor. It's spelled the old-fashioned way. Eleanor Brown. You can find me no problem.
Okay,
And
okay.
same with Twitter. Yeah.
Okay, great, great. Well, I thank you so much for being here and being my first guest. Don't know how much that means to me, and I wish you the best of luck in the future. And I want to tell everybody else we're going to be doing some shows like this, so please check us out and like us on Instagram, and we have a Facebook page as well. But Instagram. It's an amazing. Elevate your amazing life. So check that out for us. And thank you so much again, Eleanor. I appreciate
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
it.